Hello, family. We are so back. This is Lowe's first new track that they've dropped in, I think, maybe about 4 years. They've not released like an actual album ever since their 2020 sophomore album, I Let It In and It Took Everything, which, to give some background on me, which peep the Deftones poster back here. I really enjoy music like that, and that has become over the years one of my favorite albums of all time. I listen to at least a few songs off of it, at least weekly, if not daily, sometimes on my commute to and from work. Loathe has become one of my favorite bands, and I think that they're a one of a kind act, and they're one of the best bands of the modern metal scene. Um, I wanted to pop on here today, and I put this off for a while, but my outlook on it is better late than never. I've been putting off listening to this because I wanted to record my reaction in real time, just kind of see what I was thinking about it. I had some reservations whenever they were talking about, like they were making new music, and if you're a big fan of Loathe, it's like a meme at this point. You can go on to Reddit or YouTube or any kind of platform, and people are joking about like, oh, well, we're going to get GTA 6 before Loathe releases new music because it seemed like they just kept putting it off for years and years and years, and they were like, oh, we're definitely going to get new music by like fall of 2023 or 2022 or whenever it was. And they've had a few little tracks to hold us off in the meantime. Like a few years ago, they released a track called Dimorphous Display, and they had kind of like some like it was like a weird drumming effect in that one. Kind of sounded like machine drums, like an industrial kind of sound. And I kind of thought that that was going to be a single off of a new album, and it was just going to be right around the corner. Evidently not. And here we are, and we've still really not got any news on like a new full album. But we've got this to tide us over in the meantime, and I'm really excited for this. So I just wanted to hop on here and record my reaction to it and give kind of my thoughts. One of the reservations that I had is that they were going to move in a more soft kind of sound for their newest album and lean heavily into that because on their last track they had songs like Two-Way Mirror and Is It Really You and tracks like that really blew up on like TikTok, and they got like TikTokified kind of like Deftones did as well. Deftones is my favorite band. So a lot of the bands that I like end up getting TikTokified like that, and they lean into it and they kind of forget their heavier sound. Just from the lyrics I've seen here and from like the live recordings of this song, doesn't seem to be that way. And Kadeem, their lead singer, has featured on a few other tracks too, where they've been kind of heavy. He had a track that he featured on with a band called God Complex called Hate Runs Through Me, and that's like a super heavy track. So yeah, let's get into this. I don't want to ramble on anymore. I want to just kind of get my reaction out there, and yeah, let's dig in. Already with the ambient sound. Mm-hmm. The groove right there. Oh, okay. Okay. Here we go. Oh, shit. There we go. Oh, breakdown incoming. Maybe some more ambience. Yep, here it comes.
I just keep losing. Just supposed to lose.
Here comes the solo. I bet. Just let you float and ride on it, man. I mean, that's beautiful. Yep. There's the synth. There's the ambience. Excellent. Beautifully, beautifully done. And now it's sending me to Thirst by Slow Crush. I'm not going to react to that one right now, but sounds all right. Sounds promising. I'll probably bop to it after I get done with this one. Um, Beautiful as always. I've never heard a Loathe song that has disappointed me in any way. And now listening to this, it sounds a lot more evident to me that I think they are probably going in the direction of the track Dimorphous Display that I mentioned a minute ago. Especially with that little interlude right there at the very end where it's like that, like very like dreamy kind of like sound. I don't exactly know how to describe it, but it almost puts me in the mind of like maybe like a track you'd hear from like an old retro Disney movie in a way. And I know that's not a very good description, but it's almost like this nostalgic, ethereal sound, which they are great at. Like a lot of their second album, especially, it's like someone scanned my brain and made the ideal album for me. And there was just the right amount of heaviness and softness and synth. And something that's impressive to them, or something that's impressive for them that they do, is the way that they can switch back and forth between dynamics and sounds without it ever feeling so like artificial or forced or like I hate to use the word to describe it this way, but like cringe, because like there's a lot of bands that like they'll do like a little soft intro or whatever and then just like bam shredding your face off, but there's no like where's the foreplay, you know what I'm saying, like where's the foreplay to it, there's no like lead into it, and sometimes that can work, and like when you just like pop off and like shred somebody's face off, like like their tracks Is It Really You and Gourd are back to back on the album. They're back to back on the album. So sometimes that can really work in your favor, and like they've done that before. But the way that they can manage to switch back and forth just effortlessly is always something that's impressive to me. And in this too, like even the lyrics are good. Like they don't ever have to force anything. It just comes so naturally to them. And I mean, just well done as always. Like this is a classic Loathe track, and I didn't come into it thinking I was going to be disappointed, and I'm actually even more impressed than I thought I was going to be. The way that they, a lot of people don't know, and I'm not a musician, but I've like, I know a few things about music and guitars and things like that, but I don't know how to play any. Their guitarist and secondary vocalist Eric, which is doing a lot of the more like melodic and softer sections on this song, he actually uses a hybrid baritone guitar, I believe, which is a bass and electric guitar in one, and then he tunes it down, which is how they get that like dirty, like nasty, like gnashing, biting sound that like I mean a lot of their songs they sound I mean outright evil. The vibe that this one gives me, especially with the intro and like the vibe of it, and even the art that they had on this, yeah, like right here, the art that they have on it, it's very reminiscent to me of New Faces in the Dark and Gourd in what they're going for, and it just sounds like I hear a lot of people describe it as sinister, and I can't think of a better word for that. It just sounds like this looming, creeping presence that's just about to eviscerate you, and I get that from this track too, like the chugging, biting, gnashing, like that little fast pace, like let's see if I can find it actually in this track. No, I'm still on Thirst by Slow Crush. Let's is that right? No, I'm playing the wrong song. Sorry, guys. Guess it's not gonna let me. Let's try this again. Because I don't know why it's doing this to me. Maybe I could just go back. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Yeah, right here. See, in that chugging section right there, that little like like that right there, it even sounds like they're bringing the industrial drums back, and it reminds me a lot of like when they go for that sound. They did it on Dimorphos Display, and on that track especially, it reminds me of a lot of tracks from the way that they're mixed off of Rob Zombie's album Hellbilly Deluxe. I'm a big fan of that album too. That was like, to me, that was what made me a fan of industrial music. I listened to it when I was really young. It's what kind of like it was like my entryway partially into like heavy metal. I already liked like horror movies and stuff. Didn't know who Rob Zombie was. My dad played it for me, played me Dracula. And especially in like a track like How to Make a Monster, the drums sound exactly the same way there. And there's like these little bitty just very nuanced pieces of sound that they have layered within their tracks that I can appreciate too. That really just make you want to like dig in and keep listening because for real, every time I listen to their songs, I hear something new, like a little effect or like some kind of like a note that I missed the first time I listened to it, and really their music makes me have an appreciation for music and makes me want to pick up a guitar and try some of this out myself. It's just so like multi-layered. There was, I don't remember her name, but there was someone on YouTube that was reacting to the full album, and she was going through like how like layered and well mixed a lot of these tracks are, and I get that from this track too, and just those like little things like that, like it just kind of like takes you for a ride and takes you with it. And let's listen to this one. Right there too, just like that little rip. Yeah, that's a face shredder. And here I was thinking like it's heavy, of course, but it's something I would put on the level of maybe like probably even not quite as heavy as like New Faces in the Dark or Gourd or anything like that. Um, but not quite as soft as like some of the parts on like Screamin', but it's probably within that ballpark. And I'm sure that they are going to have a lot of like slower songs on the new record. I could be wrong about that, but I think that they're too good at it. And I think there's too much to explore there in that aspect of like shoegaze and synth for them to not do it. And I think that that's, at the end of the day, I think that they're the kind of band that's going to do whatever they want to do artistically. But I think that I think they're too good at that kind of music to not explore that further. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'm even more excited for the new album now. I hope it comes sooner rather than later. I really don't want to have to be waiting around like 2 more years or something, and this was just like to tide me over. I would like to hope that we get the new album by like no later than October. Really, I'm hoping that we get it soon. Maybe get something like a music video or like another new track or something like that. They've been playing another new one at their live shows. I've seen Loathe live twice, and I saw them once in Atlanta and once in Nashville. Um, I'm really hoping that because they didn't play any new tracks when I saw them live, unfortunately. But I'm really hoping that we at least get a couple more teasers or something like that. I know a lot of people want to go into the album blind. When the album does drop, just like I did for this track, I'm not going to listen to it until I can sit and stream it, front to back, beginning to end, and record my reaction to it because this is a band that is important to me. They've grown to be one of my favorite bands over the last few years, and I think that what they're doing musically is probably some of the most interesting stuff that's been going on in heavy metal and music in general in the last like 15 years, easily. There's really not a lot of new bands that impress me, and a lot of bands that I used to be really into. I feel like I've kind of like dropped the ball in the last little while, and I really think that Loathe deserves more recognition for the amount of work that they're putting in and the following that they've gained and what they're doing musically. Which is also partially why I'm uploading this video and that I waited to react to it because I mean I saw a few people already drop their reactions, but this is important to me. I think that what they're doing is important, and it's not like slop music. Like it's very artistically good. In mentioning that too, there were a lot of sections of that song too that reminded me of Cynic in the way that it sounded almost like a jazz fusion, kind of like progressive metal song, like something that they would do off of their album Kindly Bent to Free Us. There was a lot of sections in that with the bass, especially that sounded like that to me. I'm excited to listen to this track again, and I'm sure that I'll have listened to it 500 more times by the time the album drops, and then I'll listen to it 500 more. And when it does drop, I'm going to be listening to the full thing, beginning to end, like I said. So please like and subscribe, get this out there. Not just to support me, like I said, but to support the band and the community that they've had form around them, because this really is important. Like I feel like this is a important band that we should kind of champion right now if we want to get more new, good music that's unique and not the same kind of stuff that we've heard over and over for the last however many years. Not to sound like a dickhead, not to sound like Anthony Fantano over here or something. Which he actually too I heard liked this track, which is surprising because like I got the Deftones poster. Bro ain't said one good thing about Deftones or any other kind of good music about that, and that to me is kind of like a little sus. Either way, I digress. Thank you guys for watching. It means a lot. Like I said, like and subscribe. Let's get more people listening to Loathe and more good music. I'm going to be doing more music reactions and more reactions in general as time goes on. Not really for sure exactly what kind of content I want to do on this channel, but it's going to be evolving and changing as time goes on. And yeah, if you just want to come hang out, I'm going to do some live streams here soon too. And in the meantime, God bless, and I love you.